Hi everyone, welcome back to the EUDAIMONIA Connection podcast. This is Joey Busuttil, and I've been getting great feedback from people in regards to what all this information about fulfillment is about. And you know, sometimes we don't think about what it means and how we get fulfilled in life. We always think that it's about finding something in the future without realizing that we've got a lot of stuff now. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about music, and we're going to be talking about what it means to let music, you know, absorb you and take over and make you feel good. Like, I know that when I feel flat, I just need to put my favorite music on and I totally change the way that I feel. So let's go into the mind of one of my favorite DJs who's a global sensation from Melbourne, Scott Anderson. Hi, Scott. How are you?
Very well, thank you, Joe. How are you?
I'm good. Oh, look at him. He's gone shy because he's such a beautiful soul. And, you know, how have you found the lockdown when it comes to playing music? Like, has it been hard not to be in the clubs?
Horrendous.
Yeah,
really, really hard. It's part of DJing obviously is the performance aspect and watching the crowd, reading the crowd, and you feed off their energy. So, you know, at times when you're at home or in the studio, like we are now, I know you can't see it, is, you know, you sit down and you have all these ideas in your head, or you want to do a mix, or just do something just to keep up to date, practice a bit. And, you know, without that energy, sometimes it's very hard to come up with that incredible mix that just happens.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, like, lockdown has introduced me to Twitch. And so I love that because I never would have known. I don't go out nowadays, so I now know that I just need to go onto Twitch and I can see any DJ playing. I know they're in the lounge room, but it just keeps me connected. So before we start, I guess, how has music been influential for you? Like, how does a DJ know they want to be a DJ? It's a weird question.
Yeah, no, good question. I come from the Yarra Valley, which back when I was young, you know, this was pretty much country. So I'd never heard house music. And the only sort of techno songs I'd ever heard were on Triple J, you know, like Sweetness and Light, which is Paul Mac. But
you're really showing how old I am by how young you are. Yeah, Paul Mac was an influence. Yeah. Okay. So there was no real. Were you around when there was Central Station and all those things, like the shop where you'd buy records? Yeah. So, you know, like, was that closed by the time you started DJing?
No, that was open for a good 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, look, I miss, and I tell the story all the time when people ask about DJing. I miss record shopping. You know, it was like Christmas every Wednesday. You go in, and this was in the day before digital. This is before transferring songs on the internet. Like these days, you have great friends and producers and DJs, and they say, "Hey, do you want to copy this?"
Yeah.
And also, there wasn't 100 different genres of music. So you go into the record store, you get maybe a pile of 15 records if you're lucky, and you'd spend that hour or hour or two, and you'd go through them all, and you'd pick out the treasures and the very, very, very coveted white labels.
Yeah. So I would have thought that digital would have been better because it means that you have access. But everyone that I speak to that is into music is saying what you're saying. So really the happiness part of it was what you just described. Going into the shop, touching it, hearing it, picking it. And so the other means may be just a little bit generic, and so it doesn't give you the same feeling. Because one thing for me that I've noticed is that music is so fast now. Like, I like a song, and by the time tomorrow comes, there's another song. Well, the olden days, I used to like the same song for at least a few months.
Absolutely.
Right?
And that's the thing, because you can only have, so much music coming out at once. Whereas these days, instead of having maybe 10 dance tracks released a week, you've got thousands.
Yeah, okay. All right,
Mr. Yeah. Them is hard.
I know. I mean, that's why I don't even know any popular pop songs anymore. I feel like that's what makes you old.
Same.
It's when you know everything, it means that you're in it. But like that happened so quickly, but it's not my fault. Thank you for acknowledging that. All right, are you ready? So the questions that I'm asking you, I've chosen for you, and all I really want you to do is just be honest about what it means to you. Okay, so I want you to start off with, I guess, the theme, and that is, what is fulfillment for you? How do you know? How does Scott Anderson know when he's fulfilled or happy?
I spend the majority of my life chasing that particular aspect, but these days it's being happy. And I know that's a bit of a...
Yeah, but what is that? So how do you know? How do you know when you're that? Do you feel it, or is it something that you obtain? Is it more about you, or is it about something else?
I think one of the things that I also learned in that process was to be happy with myself, within myself. So, you don't need gratification from other people. You don't need confirmation from other people just to be good about yourself and feel good about yourself. For me, being happy is, I've got an obsession with very high-end hi-fi audio.
Really? So obsession meaning that you want it?
I've got it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's. I think in your case, having external things is important, right? Because you're a DJ, and so you can't be playing and being happy by playing it on a $999 turntable. You've got to have the thing. Yeah. So if that was to be taken away from you, do you think that would impact your happiness?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going through that as we speak. My beautiful Yamaha amp died last week.
Sorry, because I know those things. I know they cost a lot of money, don't they? Yeah, I was going to say it's expensive, isn't it, to get what you're looking for? Because I got excited when Apple introduced spatial audio. Like, that excited me because that meant that I could hear different things.
That changed everything.
Changed everything.
How much did that change it?
Well, yeah. I mean,
speakers in the world and shit like I've got, but we were so well trained when iPods first came out and iTunes came out. It was like, yes, we had all this variety and this fantastic access to all of this music at our fingertips, but we were also trained at the same time that MP3 format, which is compressed audio, was normal. We never heard any different, and then it's why these days, companies like Apple are releasing lossless streaming, and also Tidal and a few others. But we're being reintroduced to how good, how rich, and how much depth music can actually have. So it's a great thing.
So does that, again, this is not on my list. I knew this would end up being about being a DJ. Because music is, I listen to music and I don't do or feel what you feel because I don't have the ear. So I'm guessing that you have that. And what I've noticed by listening to the Apple stuff is that it does give you happiness when you listen to the different levels, and you don't realize that I just think it's one thing. But when you listen to it and it's broken up, there's so many layers, isn't there? And so are you attuned to all that? You would be.
Yeah, very much. It's not hard to listen to music these days, but you hear everything. And as you said, and of course the better quality of the track or recording being reproduced on fantastic speakers, great headphones, or an amazing $1 million sound system in a club, you literally hear everything.
Yeah, I know, but that's the importance of it. That layering, when you hear it, it takes you on a journey.
Yes.
Like, at the moment, like, I'm obsessed with The Weeknd. Like, I just love I just love their lyrics. I like their music. And so I could listen to the same song over and over again. And it actually takes me, I always feel like it's dangerous when I'm driving because I always end up losing my concentration because of that whole thing. And that can create fulfillment with it. And it's free. I don't need to go and buy anything. I can just let music take me on this place where I can feel happy. For you, besides music, I'm curious to know what else besides music makes you happy.
Sure. I love reading. As you can see, that's like a very small fraction of my books. It's another room with a few bookcases in there. Do you
think that surprises people that that you're a DJ and then you could just read? Because that's a contradiction in a way. But it's what does the reading mean for you? What does it represent?
So I mainly read two different types of books. I have sort of fantasy and fiction books for my escape because I have quite a good imagination, and I also love science texts and things like quantum theory, cosmology, lots and lots. I'm very big nerd
No, that's good. It's good. It's good because like, it is interesting, and I am talking for my behalf, listeners. Like people look. I remember looking at you on the DJ box, and it was like a god, right? And so you have a perception of what a DJ is because they are gods, right? I mean, you're a beautiful god, but then you hear that they're a nerd, and you go, "Oh my god, they're a god that reminds me of me." So it's it's really sort of quite amazing. And I've been following some of these young DJs. The ones I can't remember his name. That one that's only 19 or 20, and he's like making millions of dollars. But when I was watching his documentary, I saw how there were thousands and thousands of people that were listening to this music and just getting happy by it. Do you think that we're in a place where music is doing that, or do you think that there is something about distraction, not happiness? Is music really aligned with happiness, or is it aligned with being distracted? Because it is a difference. What do you think?
Absolutely. Look, I think that depends on the style of music. When you're producing music and writing, the different frequencies of the sounds you use within a song will promote different emotive.
Yeah, like what do they call it? Adrenaline and all that, right?
Yeah, you can make people sad. You can make people happy. You can make people feel a bit chilled, and that's all in the key and the frequencies that you write them.
Yeah,
and engaging in so many different ways.
Mm. Do you think that the public that's a really good explanation. Do you think that the public are using music enough?
I think we have more access to music than we've ever had before, and as going back to our previous comment, that now there's the quality to it, the depth, the richness. You can really disappear into your music because we have access to incredible headphones with really high fidelity, as well as sound systems and things. So people are not only being happy from music, feeling different things too because of the frequencies and vibrations.
Yeah, I guess the right reason why I asked that is because I've noticed personally that more people are watching Netflix or watching TV, which is fine. Where in the past when we didn't have as much access to those streaming sites, you may have put a CD on, and now. So I'm just wondering, I guess, if you feel that's dominating more than music, or do you think that there is a balance there? Because I mean, it depends on the person, right? But I don't really know much about sales and about charts and about if people are listening. I'm sure people are listening because I'm not. But it is. I feel that more people are watching things rather than listening to things, and I think that your explanation is really good. If people take time out and just listen, you can just close your eyes and just let that sound wash off over you. That's like meditation, isn't it?
I remember back in the Shed 14 back in the days,
yeah.
In front of the big speaker stacks.
Yeah, I remember.
People were just hearing it, they were also feeling it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I love. I saw these new headphones. They don't go into your ear. They actually sit on the side of your temple. Have you seen them? And I'm thinking, how can that work? And I tried them. Oh my God. Have you tried them?
Yeah, it's called bone induction.
Oh, so see how smart you are.
Sense vibrations through the bones.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so again, frequency is quite a big. I didn't expect you to talk about frequency, so that's a really interesting thing. Is that because I really love binaural beats and all that, which is frequency levels. And again, I didn't know that normal music had that sort of in it. So that's interesting. So that means that if someone's feeling flat because of lockdowns, or they're feeling flat because they're not sure of the future, by listening to songs that are happy are going to make their frequencies increase, which gives them motivation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you produce music? Yeah. So, do you?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm basically saying, get on your decks and start doing more. Because I actually follow you on one of the streaming sites, and I have to. I realized when I was getting ready for this, I'm going, oh my God, it's been a while since I've received a playlist from you.
It's that time I discontinued mixes.
Have you just been busy?
I've been very, very focused studying, so I just finished my paramedic degree. So, and also last week had an interview finally with Ambulance to start my career with that.
Congratulations! Oh my God, I'm proud of you. So, do you feel that music is like? What I'm hearing is that music is the element that makes you find your fulfillment, but you now are finding other things. And it's interesting that you actually are saying Ambulance because as of 2020, right? The I don't know if you believe or follow the stars. But, we're now in the age of Aquarius, and the age of Aquarius is about us all becoming of service. And here you are becoming, you've always been of service anyway, because you're DJing and that's service. And now you're going to be servicing people through your ambulance work, what does that mean to you? What do you get out of being of service?
I just love helping people, and the body language from them, not even saying thank you, or, you can tell just the body language of people. It's 27 years in hospitality too.
Yeah. So you've been giving a lot. You've been there, right? So does that in itself, does that feel fulfilling because it's unconditional? You're not asking or expecting anything back?
Yep.
So again, I'm just curious. Sorry.
Sorry. I sort of look at service, especially in the restaurants, it's a bit of a game. That the good outcome for my part of the game is that the customer has a big smile on their face, absolutely loves the whole experience, and hopefully we'll go on and tell somebody about it. But that's the game to me, and that was service.
Yeah, but also there are people that do what you do and they don't have the same energy as you. So it's a natural thing that you've got. Not that I want to focus on anything negative, but does that come at a consequence at times?
It can, yeah.
Yeah, so what is that for you, and how do you get yourself out of it?
Yeah, well, it's along the same lines too as with DJing. You cannot keep everybody happy at all times.
I was going to say, I remember you told me off once, but every time I'd see you, I'd say, can you play Kylie? And you said, no more Kylie!
Yeah.
Sorry.
In our community?
Yeah. So when people are demanding things of you, either of hospitality, DJing, and it's going to be ambulance work in the future, what do you do? How do you turn that off so you can not go home and feel crazy? Because you know what I mean? Like, you're getting it all, boom, boom. And so do you go home and it still feels heavy, or are you able to turn it off?
I have a bit of a decompress after work by, talking about the shift.
Mm-hmm.
And that can just be about good or bad customers, but also through what happened during the shift, if there's anything that sort of we can change, or you're always sort of looking at and evaluating procedures within the business and the service style. But just having that conversation after work, whatever it is not only good for you, it's also good for the staff.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I can go home now.
Yeah. Well, it sounds as well that you don't want to, you're doing that because I think you know that you don't want to take it home. Do you know what I mean? And from the other perspective, when you're seeing people, right, do you feel that people are not happy, or do you think people are happy? The customers. Like, I'm not talking about the service. Yeah. I'm just talking about in general, because you have a sort of like a little opportunity to sneak into someone's world, right? And because we're talking about fulfillment and happiness, do you think that people are generally getting there, or do you think there's people that are just grumpy old freaking...
Look, that is sometimes just naturally who someone is.
Yeah.
I don't think it comes from any sort of well of despair or...
Well, I guess it's important for us... I guess it's important to talk about it from the perspective that the world's changed, right? So you have an idea to say, this is my experience pre-COVID. People now are frustrated, and now this is my experience post-COVID, or during COVID. Like, people are not as nice, or people aren't as engaging, or maybe they're the opposite. Like, when we have a disaster, for example, people become friendlier, and then for some reason we dismiss that, and as time goes on, like, we become, neutral again. Like, what do you notice now that we're in COVID times?
Look, COVID specifically, it's really been a bit of a double-edged sword. It's made everybody extremely aware of their surroundings and they are, and especially things like
coughing,
hand washing, coughing, being patient. Not just striding through the door and demanding, everything.
Yeah. So are people getting that, you think, or that some people, I guess? Because there are going to be people that don't agree that there is, the ones that don't wear masks and all that. I was talking to someone about that just before I spoke to you, a teacher, and she goes, it's so hard to manage you got to be nice, but parents come in without masks, and, how do you handle that? Do you just have a policy that you can't come in?
In the restaurant, absolutely.
Yeah, and I guess in clubs and all that. So I think that's good. So do people get angry? if they can't?
Yes, people get frustrated because, you know, you try and tell anyone, any adult, you know, that they can't do something, and, you know, it is their right to be able to do and say and think whatever they like. In a situation like that, when it affects other people or the staff or anything like that, then it's how you approach it. You know, if you walk up to someone, look like you're just about to, you know, they hold the big stick, then of course instantly you get their back up. But with a, you know, an even tone, calm voice, explain why. You know, they know why.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just find it interesting how some people cannot see that you're a human, right? I've never done anything like that because it's not me, but I've seen it, and I just, you know, when people get really demanding over the smallest of things because they feel entitled, and I wonder to myself, like, is that person, you know, really happy? You know, this podcast has really made me understand money, for example. Like, you know, we think money is what we need, which we need it. But the reality is that I've spoken to a few people who've got money and they didn't find happiness from that. You know, they found happiness from other things. So for you, what do you feel you want the world, what do you want your legacy to be? Like, how do you want people to remember Scott Anderson? Besides that you're a god, like, you know, like, you know, what do you think, if you know, do you think you want people to remember you for your music, or is there something deeper for you that you want them to know you as?
I would like to think that they remembered me for a happy moment.
Okay.
On the dance floor, or, you know, a happy memory.
Yeah. So their vision of you is happy. That it's, you know, so yeah, that's good. I mean, that's good. I mean, like, I think you've got, you know, again, I didn't think of that. You have this whole insight to a world that not many people get to see. You get to see how, you know, I get to experience it maybe with one person like you and I now, but you get to see with all these people. So in a way, you have a little glimpse of what it might be like to be like a famous person, and, you know, people are there listening to you. And if you're, you know, I guess the other side that happens is if you play a bad song, they tell you. You know, so you have this power of that connection. What do you think makes you you? What is the thing that makes you Scott? What's the little kink or the little idiosyncrasy that is you? We all have our own little thing. I'm just wondering what you think yours is. What is Scott? Well, like, you know, for example, you know, we might look at someone and say that person is that person's really hilarious. So you know that person will make you feel happy. So what do you think your little thing is that people automatically can connect with?
I was about to say, I have this. I'm very lucky, and especially in the jobs or career paths that I've chosen, is I can talk to anybody.
Yeah. So you're pretty connected. You don't feel shy. You just feel connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I love that about you, because you seem so humbled, right? And so, but because, again, I'm talking from my own experiences, which is from years ago, so it's not about now. But, you know, people may look at you and go, oh my God, he's a DJ. Oh my God, he's really good looking. Oh my God, he's a god. He's going to be a snob. He's going to be stuck up. I'm scared of him. I was scared of you. And then when I spoke to you by accident or something and you were so normal, I sort of like had a meltdown. So, you know what I mean? Like, so that is a good trait. Do you find that people say that to you, that you're so approachable?
The latter. I've got that my whole life, and then yeah, when people do,
what have been the latter? You got told, people have told you that you were scary or unapproachable.
Oh, or that, or I didn't think I could talk to you, or one is like, you're actually really smart, and I was like, thanks.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's got nothing to do with you. That's got to do with them. And, you know, the thing that I love about talking to you today is that I never thought about this interview being about you and how you actually create happiness for others. I was curious about what makes you happy, but really, this is about how you have this power to make other people happy. You know, what do you think is the reason why people say that you're unapproachable? Like, do you think what do you think is the reason that they're seeing? What are they seeing that you're not seeing?
Another common bit of feedback is I don't smile enough, so I can quite stand there and I can, from the outside, look like I'm actually quite angry or serious.
Show me, do it. Do your non-smiling face now. Let's see it. You need to say something first. Yeah. Okay. Do it now. Do it. Yeah, you look scary. No. I guess it's just it's the position. That's all. The position that you're in. You're above. You're playing. You've got probably people surrounding you. And because I remember following you on Facebook, where you lived overseas, right, for a while.
Yes.
Yeah, and you'd be around all these big, gorgeous men, and I'm going. I thought, wow. Like at first, I thought all these gorgeous men want you, right? But they probably did. But what I then realized was no. They're attracted to you because you are like honey. You've got this softness about you, right? And in the gay world, I think that's something that is missing. And I just wanted to say that's one of the things that I love about you. Like, it's the inclusiveness of the fact that you let everyone taste your honey.
What can I say? I'm friendly.
I know you're friendly. So what is your future? What do you want to do next? I know you're doing the ambulance thing. What does that mean to you? Where are you going in the next 10 years to find that happiness?
Well, that's a really good question. And, ever since that, that age-old question, what do you want to be when I grow up, when you grow up? That's something I've never known. And why I think I've taken so much solace in my DJ career. I've got, as you know, really, really bad ADHD. Mm. And trying to do anything consistently is near to impossible. Mm. And again, why I've loved music and DJing so much, because it's been the one thing in my life that has been absolutely consistent, and that I've felt that I've really and been a really huge part of my life. But moving forwards, I think definitely ambulance, but moving up to, I'd like to sort of look at approaching doing something like Micah paramedic, which is very, very full on part of the service, but also get right into my production side.
Mm. And what about this thing here? What about what's in the future for your heart? Because the thing is that even though you said then about the ADHD, like, I don't know if you really fully understand how much you've accomplished.
No, I don't. You're right.
Yeah, it's the gratitude part of it that you need to make. Because, out of a lot of people I know, you've accomplished a lot. And the thing that you don't maybe again, you're not focusing on is that you always accomplish what you say, right? So people may look at that and say, oh, God, Scott is very fleety. He doesn't know what he wants to do. And then you then can say that to yourself, right? But the reality is every time I've spoken to you, you've always got something happening, right? So you're always looking, which I find way more exciting than a boring person that does the same thing.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely not an issue.
Yeah. So for you, that sort of represents, how to find happiness. You don't just stop. You know that when you don't feel right, you just go looking for it. And are you at peace with that? Yeah. So this is why it's important to talk to you, because there are other people that are listening that probably have the same things that are going on in their life, and they've been told by society that something's wrong with them because they haven't conformed, right? And you're an example of someone that's inspirational because you don't conform and you find happiness your way.
I refuse to.
Yeah. So what does that mean? Or what do you want to tell listeners that may be going through similar things to you, like having ADHD or feeling like the society has told them, sure. The thing I hate is when people say, grow up or settle down, and not everyone can do that. Some people are gypsies, right? So what would you tell people?
Look, it's really hard because we spend our formative years, late teens, early 20s, our early adult years, really striving to achieve all of these goals that either society or family or those around us have set. And we think that we have to, adhere to that. It's the next part of our late 30s thinking, some people, thinking, fuck that. This is what I like to do. This is what I want to do. And this is what makes me happy. But being strong enough to step outside of that pre-programming and, all of those people around you and all that noise to be yourself, find yourself and be happy with it is a really hard thing to do.
Yeah, it's a brave thing to do. Mm. But I've been very blessed because I've been there. I've witnessed you doing it. So the thing is, now that you can look back, well, if you look back, right, are you still thinking that it was hard? Or now do you look back and go, I wish I did that sooner because I got through it?
Both.
Yeah. But I guess it's good that you acknowledge that it was hard, because that's probably how you grew.
Appreciate things if they are hard, if we had to work for it and work through it.
Yeah.
Because remember the process, but then we also remember the outcome.
Yeah. Okay.
Appreciate the outcome.
Appreciate it. So last question, right? So what do you feel is your love weakness?
I love it.
Like that thing, right? That it's that thing that you know is probably not good for you, but you have to. You're so weak, you know, that you need to have it. You know, and it doesn't mean that it's bad, but it means it's that thing that it doesn't take long for you to actually, like, you know, for example, some people know they shouldn't eat it. Like last night I had a whole block of chocolate, right? Instead of having one square, I had the whole block. So that was a love weakness for me. It's like I'm sitting there watching my movie and I'm going, stop it, Joe. And like, it was all gone. So what's yours? What's the thing that you know is sort of naughty, but you just, it's something that's in your life that you need to sometimes sneak?
Oh, back in the past, I'm sure as anyone that knows me would have been drugs. But these days, really food.
Food. So food, you find comfort in food, and are you a foodie?
Yeah, my first job as a chef. I love cooking.
Oh my God, you've done everything. you know, this is why, you know, don't you think we should advertise this as a, you know, like a dating site? Listen, he cooks, he DJs,
I love cooking for people. All my boyfriends have eaten very damn well.
Yeah. So do you cook? So do you actually cook a lot? Do you actually enjoy it?
Love it.
Yeah. So is it the same as DJing? Do you get the same endorphins?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the same endorphins because I mean it's creativity.
Yeah.
It's passion, and you know you have the tasty outcome, or you know it's got a lot of the same gratification.
Yeah. I did say that was the last question, but you brought up the drugs, and I wanted to ask: how have you realised that didn't give you what you were looking for?
It never made me happy. It was just always chasing my tail, and and surrounding yourself with more and more layers of fakeness and nothingness.
Yeah. Was it hard for you to realise that?
Like every hard thing in my life I've had to do. Yes, of course it was.
Yeah.
And I'm also one of those people, I need to jam my hand in the door about 5 times. That hurts.
Yeah. But that's why you're inspirational. That's why I've got to reflect back to you and say that, because I know that you're humble, and you probably wouldn't be sitting there going, oh my God, I'm influencing other people by being honest, but you sometimes need to hear it, right? Because your vulnerability and your openness, I've always loved that about you, and that gives people exactly the courage to do what you've talked about, because sometimes people are scared. And, you know, Mr. Anderson, you're a role model.
Thank you very much.
So, Scotty, thank you so much. Look, I picked this picture for you. See, this is you reaching. Thank you for sharing your insights. And, you know, again, thank you for showing us that being inspiring doesn't have to be Oprah. You know, inspiration is about getting through adversity and finding what you want. And it sounds to me, I'm going to guess that you are probably the happiest you've been in forever. Are you? Would you be?
Very much so.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you, and wishing you all the best, and have a good day, my friend.
Thank you very much, Joey. Lovely to talk to you, and thank you very much.
Love you. Okay, you've been listening to the EUDAIMONIA Connection podcast out every Wednesday, so don't forget to hit subscribe. If you want to know anything about Scott Anderson and his music, I'm going to link all the information below. Don't stalk him, just he'll be nice to you if you ask. All right, see you next time, everyone. Bye.